कैंडिड इंटरफेस को स्वागत। आज गौड़े आम स्टूडियो रे अछंती प्रोफेसर मिहिर नायक, प्रिंसिपल बिजू पट्टनायक इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एंड मैनेजमेंट साइंसेस। आमर जो आज जो आलोचना होची आमर जो प्रिंसिपल आसीचंती आम गौड़े प्रोफेसर मिहिर नायक आगुरु तांकर बहुत विभिन्न जगह से काम करिचंती। से मध्य बिजू पट्टनायक टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटी रे जने रजिस्ट्रार थिले। आउ मो मध्य कहू चाहे जे विभिन्न जगह से जाइकिरी मध्य भाषण दियंती, क्लास नियंती, ट्रेनिंग दियंती। आज हमर आलोचनार विषय हला इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एजुकेशन टुडे। तो मुझे जेमिति कहली प्रोफेसर नायक हेले बिजू पट्टनायक इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एंड मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज रो प्रिंसिपल। आम स्टूडियो रे आपन को स्वागत प्रोफेसर नायक।
नमस्कार। नमस्कार।
तो हम माने जानिया को चाहू जे आपनकर चाइल्डहुड टा किमति हला। हाउ वाज योर चाइल्डहुड? हाउ वाज इट लाइक? योर एजुकेशन, योर विलेज, योर स्कूल किमति आपन बढिचंती तापरे हम निश्चय दर्शक बंधु दे विल बी वेरी वेरी हैप्पी लिसनिंग टू यू।
सर जदि पचारले इनफैक्ट चाइल्डहुड, by childhood in fact I spent most of my days at Rourkela Steel City. Rourkela being a cosmopolitan city, I have studied there from my primary education to postgraduate level. सेठी इस्पात विद्यालय, सेठी गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज, सेठी यूनिवर्सिटी, सेठी सब पाठ प्राय हमर सेठी पढ़ाई छि, जोठरे कि वी आर हैविंग ए हेटेरोजेनियस ग्रुप ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स starting from different background of the entire country. केवल ओडिशा र पिला नथिले, केवल ओडिशा र छात्र छात्री नथिले, विभिन्न देश राज्य र छात्र छात्री थिले। कारण सेटा राउरकेला स्टील प्लांट बोली कोटे प्लांट एबे भी अछि, बहुत भलो करूछि। सेमानकर जो एम्प्लॉय माने थांती, सेमानकर संतान संतति माने मो फादर जडे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया रे एम्प्लॉय थिले। तो हम सेठी सब जाक पिला पाठ पढी की बड़ी सभार सौभाग्य पाइछु। तेणु मोर प्राय कटिछि आज्ञा राउरकेला रे।
बहुत सुंदर। मुझे तो राउरकेला रे बहुत दिन थिली हमर मजे आगु बहुत जगह देखा मते हुए। now another wonderful point which is very important as a professor of management studies,
Yeah.
you have been teaching management for I think for the past few decades. I would say about 30 years or so.
It's more than that.
Yeah, more than that. So what has been your experiences like as a management professor?
Yeah, as a management professor and a management practitioner, I have more than 32 years of experience, which started in the year 1991 with ITC. It's a tobacco giant at Ghaziabad. And then I moved to one of the best management institute of the state, that is Rourkela Institute of Management Studies, Rourkela. I spent around 6 to 7 years there. Got the opportunity to work with L&T and ICICI promoted institute, Government of Odisha promoted institute, that is called IIPM, Indian Institute for Production Management, Kasbahal, as the director there for 6 to 7 years. And I got an opportunity to start the School of Management at IIPM also. Moving forward, I also worked with one of the most coveted name of the country, that is Tata, in Tata Refractory Limited at its Belpahad unit as a management practitioner in the areas of human resource management. Moving forward from Tata Refractory Limited to I went to Bizu Patnaik University of Technology in the year 2013, worked there and contributed immensely for the development of that university at Rourkela, established the permanent campus, and that contributed to the extent possible for the development of technical education or professional education in the state of Odisha. And moving again forward, I joined one of the most coveted private university which is now declared as a Center of Excellence, that is KIT University, as Director Planning and Director Skill Development. Spent there around, invested there rather 6 to 7 years, and now I am heading one of the best uh, BPUT management affiliated college, that is Biju Patnaik Institute of Information Technology and Management Studies, as a professor and principal of that college. So, over the period of time, I have understood one thing, that wherever you go, you get a different culture and style of leadership. And looking the different culture and style of leadership, you need to understand it very quickly, and you need to adapt to the environment of those organizations, so that you will be contributing for the organization in the true spirit and with a kind of an emotional attachment with the organization. For that, you have to have three things in the mind always, and that three things, as I understand, one is the purity in the heart,
Absolutely.
and secondly, sincerity in your action,
Absolutely.
and clarity in your thought. If you have these three things, you may work with any organization. Definitely, you will help the organization to grow further, and you can also fulfill the aspirations of everyone of that organization and all the stakeholders. So, this is what is my experience
wonderful,
over the
wonderful.
32 years of time.
Wonderful. I would like to say, you see, management studies has traversed a long way in India, in different parts of the country. But I would ask you one little question, and that is, how is it management studies in India and management studies in the Western countries? How would you, try to create a synergy between the both and give a brief, overview of what is happening, in the Western countries and what is happening in India? A very brief comparative study.
We are really striving, and particularly there are some tier 1 institutions, that is IIMs and all, and XIMB, XLRI. So, they are really moved much ahead than that of the tier 2 and tier 3 institutions. So, what is the difference between this? The difference is basically, we are, as a tier 2 and tier 3 institution in our country, are focusing only on management education. Vis-a-vis these tier 1 institutions and the institutions of the different parts of the world, they are focusing more into management research, management consultancy. So, we have to do a lot in that direction too. And in fact, if you ask me about the state of Odisha, you know that in 1980s and in 1990s, there are few management institutions. Only in Utkal University we are having the management programs, in Sambalpur University we are having management programs, and 3 to 4 private institutions were providing the management education. But now, under Biju Patnaik University of Technology, there are as many as more than 70 affiliated institutions are there, those are providing management education. But simply providing management education is not going to solve the purpose.
Absolutely.
So, we need to move forward. So, we need to really focus on quality education. We need to focus on research. We need to focus on the collaboration with the industries, and then maybe down the line 5 years or 10 years, we have to also focus on the consultancy, as IIMs are doing and exams are doing. Right. So, that is what is basically our that intake from this particular discussion.
Yeah.
So, we should
the focus must change.
Yeah, focus must little change.
Yeah, that is what is required.
Correct. Very correct, sir.
I would like to ask you one thing, as you have said, you are in Raurkela, then you moved from one institute, you joined Biju Patnaik Technical University, and have now, let me tell you in what position you are today. I'm sure you must be feeling very happy about it. Now, I would like to ask you a very simple question, and who has been your inspiration to what you are today? Your parents, your school teachers, your college teachers, your friends. Who has been your inspiration to what you are today?
Yeah, inspirations, definitely without inspiration, no one can move forward. For me, I have worked with various organizations, and every organizations I have got different unique leadership and leaders, and with them I have worked very closely. And to be specific, yes, I got opportunity to interact with one of the person to whom the whole India or the whole world likes, and he is the people's president of our country, none other than Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
Right.
In fact, I got the opportunity to interact with him twice. So let me share with one incident at Vigyan Bhavan. I was there as one of the that IMA's National Management Convention, member of the National Management Convention long back, where he was taking a session of all the IMA members, more than 900 in numbers, and he was taking a session of all of us, where he has told very clearly, look, if you want to see this country as a the developed one, so you as the head of the institution must do something and move forward, so that you need not to look at left and look at right and front and back what others are doing. If you move an inch, the 900 institution will move 900 inch. By moving 900 inch, my country someday will be definitely a developed country. So from that day I found that he is a different person, and I have learned one more thing from him, that he is a person who was basically focusing on living 3D and accepting 3D. What is that 3D? What is that 3D? Basically he is focusing on living it. So that fast living 3D is what is desire. Don't have much of the attachment. You don't have lot of desire. Don't have demand. Another D is demand, and don't have doubts. So 3D you please live and please receive the another 3D. What is that 3D? That is detachment. You should have detachment as one of the characteristics. You should have dedication. You should have discipline. If I leave this 3D and accept this 3D, definitely I'll be moving and helping the society to grow. Yeah, that is what he is my source of inspiration, and I am moving with his input, and that dialogue on that day he has shared with all of us.
Wonderful. Now I would like to ask you, say for example in the new education policy, do you think it has had any impact of management studies in the new education policy, and how they have promoted management education in that policy? Could you just highlight on that?
Yeah, basically I was going through national education policy the day when it was launched in 2020. I was a student when the last NEP was released, that is long back in 80s, and after 40 years once again new national education policy revised, and now that it is in the implementation stage. Yeah, while I was going through, I found that there are a lot of changes are there, and basically here the government of India, the objective of government of India is to increase the that gross enrollment ratio from 25 to 50.
Okay.
What is that gross enrollment ratio? Gross enrollment ratio is nothing but if 100 students are taking the that admission at primary education, basically today as on date only 25 students are going for higher education. Let's 75 are not going. So they are somehow lost their education, and only 25 are contributing for the nation building. Now government of India has taken a big step, new target, that how this 25% of my total that students those who are reaching the higher education will be reaching to the 50%.
Right.
So moving from 25 to 50 is basically the lot of that approaches and guidelines are there in this new education policy. One such is that is multiple entry and multiple exit. That means you can entry at any given point of time in an institution, and you can leave at any point of time after a particular framework, after a particular time, then you can contribute for the nation building, again come back, again you add. So this is wonderful concept of that what is there in the NEP.
Very true, very true.
And besides that, the government of India has also focused to imbibe the skill. If a student is completing class 10, by that time he must have a skill that added to him, not only a certificate. So beyond a certificate, if Dakshata is with him, then definitely he is more employable. Yeah. And if he is more employable, definitely.
Skilling is very important.
Skilling is very important.
Certificate has no meaning.
Certificate has no meaning.
You are properly skilled, I fully agree with you to what you say.
Thank you.
Now, another one thing, which comes to my mind is, as you have seen, be it IMs, be it, in even engineering colleges also, in different, as you have seen professional institutes, we have seen the cost of education has really, grown exponentially, and as a result of which, only a section of the, I would say, society are able to take admission. Like for example, even I see in, say for example, two-tier, management institutes also, they are charging about 20 lakhs, of fee. So what I'm trying to tell is, don't you think it's creating a divide between who can take such courses and who cannot take such courses in the society? Only, even though the guy must be having merit, but he doesn't have money, so he's not able to get admission into a good management institute. What's your take on this?
Look, I have a different viewpoint on this.
Yeah.
Edge cited by you that at least in the state of Odisha, the management education is in the reach of most of the people and most of the students. How? Look, under Biju Patnaik University of Technology, as I have told you earlier, there was around more than 80s and 70s institutions are there. Today also it is like this. Now, the course fee of this institution is not really high.
Okay.
It is determined by fee structure committee of government of Odisha, and every institution is abiding that. Okay. And the point is here the course fee, even if the management education and of other higher education is less than the course fee of the various coaching center of the state of Odisha.
Okay.
So I must say that the price that comparing to different other states, if you go to Bangalore, if you go to Delhi, if you go to Pune, or if you go to any other,
you mean to say comparatively the admission fees in management institutions are
bearing one
less
to
in
it is
Odisha.
very less.
Yeah,
it is very less.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good, very good. But still, then you must have seen there are many big institutes. Maybe they are charging very high fees. Anyway. I don't think that is in the ambit of yours and mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, now another one thing, which is I would like to ask you is that you see, education should focus on values rather than on valuables. Now, why I'm asking you this question is, say for example, if a telephone call comes from a father to another, parent, oh, your son has got the job. Nobody is asking where he has taken the job, in which location he has taken the job, whether it is in Bombay, Delhi, or which organization. First thing which they are asking is, what is the package? So what I am trying to tell, the very thought of package, I don't say that package is definitely is important. I don't say it is not important, but actually, don't you think people are getting a little bit more avaricious, more greedy? The focus is more on how much salary they will be getting rather than where they are working or in which location they are working. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, my opinion is totally different on this.
Huh.
In fact, I must say that the kind of the perception that we are having as on date is different from mine. Education, if you look into the paribhasa and the definition of it, it is not to give you a degree. It is not giving you a kind of a SGPA and CGPA by which you will be going to the job market and getting a job. Education is something which is really giving you some kind of input by which you can become a good citizen of this country.
Absolutely.
And you know that in our Upanishad it is said very clearly that asatoma sadgamaya tamosoma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritagamaya. Now this education is basically bringing all of us from the darkness to the light. When I am talking about this light, it is the light of the inner light. It is not the light that what we are seeing externally. So our inner light must be that enlightened. It must be that glow.
Yeah, service to the mankind also is very important.
Yeah, and that is what AICTE and every government policy makers are focusing on: universal human value education other than the curriculum. If you go to any board of studies of any university, it is basically focusing more into human values education.
Right.
So that is how we can bring a good person out of it.
Okay, wonderful. As a management professor, please tell us three major initiatives the government of Odisha should take to make Odisha more vibrant and developed. In your opinion, any three major initiatives you feel the government of Odisha should take?
Yeah, in fact, government of Odisha is doing a lot of things for its people, and we are moving forward in many direction, in many aspects. But always, you know that in our management language, we say there is always scope for improvement. And when I am talking about the scope for improvement, we need to focus something related to my area where I can contribute, or where I can, that having some kind of ability to comment. That number one is, as we are having a technical university, as we are having a university of culture, as we are having a university of health, as we are also having a university of Sanskrit. So different universities in different streams we are having. So we should also have a university of management. So that is point number one. Point number two, that in Odisha we are having many people, but to add the skills, to get the training, they are moving different parts of the country.
Okay.
So why not will be also creating a center of excellence which can be named as Management Training Institute, where all the government officials, all the corporate leaders, all the industry leaders, industry people can be trained. Not only them, school students also they can be trained, and college going students also can be trained.
Okay.
So one MTI, Management Training Institution, can be thought of developing.
Right.
So that is what is my
Okay, wonderful. Now I would like to ask you, since you have traversed 32 years as a professor and teaching, now I would like to ask you, what's your, at this point of time, what is your unfinished agenda which you would like to realize very soon?
Yeah,
Because everybody has an unfinished agenda,
Yeah.
what we have, what we dream, we are not able to realize, so
Yeah,
we always look for opportunities, or we think that how we should do. And so what are your plans and programs to realize your dreams or unfinished agenda?
Yeah, in fact, so far in the journey of my life up to 56 years and professional life of 32 years, we have been contributing for the that nation building in terms of through the institution building, and that is what we have been doing. But beyond that, we need to also do something for the society.
Right.
As I still remember the Jane Tada's punchline that if you are getting something from the society, you have to give back to the society.
Absolutely.
So under these circumstances, I think after all these responsibilities, myself and my wife, who is also a teacher in English, will be trying to help to the bottom of the pyramid without any cost by providing them the education and sharing our experience, our knowledge, our wisdom to them, so that they can be the part of this Viksit Odisha, Viksit India in 2047.
Wonderful. Now I would like to request you to share an inspirational message with our viewers, particularly the young.
I have two things, if I can say immediately. There are so many inspirational messages, but to my young friends, those who are in fact the part of the demographic dividend, so they need to focus on three later, and that later basically known as CAS, K, A and S. So you should always that focus on that upbringing and developing your knowledge. K stands for knowledge, A stands for your attitude, and S stands for skill. This KAS, if you really adopt, no one can stop you. And besides that, before giving this very final inspirational message, I must tell you that love all and serve all. Don't love only yourself, don't love only your parents, don't love your family. You have to love everyone. That is what for which you have been created, you have been sent by Almighty. So that is what is my message to all my young friends.
Thank you so much, Professor Nayak. We had a wonderful time.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank
I'm
you so
sure
Thank you.
all the audience and everybody, who are viewing us must have really enjoyed to our interface. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Namaskar.
Thank you.